بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأراضين عجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Alhamdulillah, we have tawfiq to continue our study of Bidayat Hikmah. We are in section 11 and chapter 5, inshallah. Chapter 4 was about Anwa' al-Ta'aqqul, and this is about Maratib al-Aql. Al-Fasl al-Khamis fi Maratib al-Aql. That was, the previous one was about whether there is no intelligibles, nothing understood by Aql, or understood in a detailed way, or understood in a holistic way, as like a package. That when you ask questions, then little by little they come out. That was what we discussed. Now we have a famous classification about different types of aql. One is what they call al-aqlul hayulani. You know, we called maddatul ula hayula. Yes, the prime matter. They call it hayula. It's empty from any actuality. It's fully potential. Okay? This is called al-aqlul hayulani because a similarity. When a still aql has not contained or has not understood anything and it is empty from knowledge, it is called al-aqlul hayulani. Okay? So, like blank, tabula. ذكروا أن مراتب العقل أربع. They have mentioned, philosophers have mentioned, that levels of aql are four. إحداها كونه بالقوة بالنسبة إلى جميع المعقولات. It is potential with respect to all intelligibles. Everything which is going to be understood is ma'qul. Still is potential. Not even a single ma'qul is there. Nothing is empty. وَتُسَمَّى عَقْلًا حَيُولَانِيًّا. Aql at this level, it is called aql hayulani. Why they call it aql hayulani? لشباهته في خلوه عن المعقولات الحيولة. Because aql, in being empty from ma'qulat, is similar to al-hayula, which was madde ula, the prime or primary matter, في كونها بالقوة بالنسبة إلى جميع الصور. Madde ula has no surah, no form, no actuality, no fi'liyat, empty. This is also like that, has no ma'qulat, no surat ilmi. 2, level 2. وثانيتها المرتبة الثانية. ثانيتها يعني ثانية المراتب. المرتبة الثانية العقل بالملكة. This is when aql starts knowing very basic things. You know, the very first thing that aql is going to understand is badihiyat, those things which are self-evident. Because nazariyat, those which need speculation, they depend on badihiyat. For example, one of the badihiyat is امتناع اجتماع النقيضين, the principle of contradiction. This is one of the badihiyat. Or kul and juz, when they are compared, kul is greater than juz. Yeah? Whole is greater than the part. Things like this. So, when aql starts understanding badihiyat, we are in the second level, and this is called al-aqlu bil-malaka. وهي المرتبة التي تعقل فيها, or we can say تعقل فيها, maybe it's better to say تعقل, مجهول. It is the level that, in that level, al-umur al-badihiyya tu'qal, self-evident things, affairs are understood. من التصورات والتصديقات. Because you remember, we said both tasawurat and tasdiqat are divided into badihi and nazari. So self-evident tasawurat and self-evident tasdiqat. Tasawurat are concepts, conceptions. Tasdiqat are propositions. Okay? Why we call this the second level? Why it is right after al-aql al-hayulani? Because as soon as aql starts to understand, we go into this level, because badihiyat are prior to nazariyat. فإن تعلق العلم بالبديهيات أقدم من تعلقه بالنظريات. Knowledge belongs to badihiyat, to self-evident things, before it belongs to nazariyat. This belonging is earlier. Belonging to tasawwurat al-nazari or tasdiqat al-nazari comes later. Third level, al-aqlu bil-fi'l. This is when you go into the level of understanding nazariyat with the help of badihiyat. For example, either you are using mu'arrif to come to tasawwurat al-nazari, or you are using hujjah to come to tasdiqat al-nazari. You remember, in logic, we said the subject matter of mantiq is al-mu'arrif wal-hujjah. Mu'arrif is tasawwur, which is known to you. You use it to come to nazari. Then this nazari, you use it for another nazari. So it goes like this. In tasdiqat, hujjat. We have hujjah, which is either istiqra or tamsil or qiyas. This is hujjah, which is for tasdiqat. So, al-aqlu bil-fi'l, this is the third level. وَهُوَ تَعَقُّلُهُ, means ta'aqqul al-aql. An-nazariyat, understanding of aql. For what? For nazariyat, those which are not badihi, which are speculative. بتوسيط البديهيات, but by using badihiyat as hadd wasat, as something in between, as a media. You use badihi to reach nazari. وإن كانت مرتبة بعضها على بعض. Of course, these may have different levels among themselves. So from badihi, you understand nazari. Then this nazari, after it is proved, can be basis for going one level further. Then you use that to go one level further. You know, all the things that we discuss in philosophy, finally they all go back to few badihiyat. But we have put them together little by little. This is called foundationalism in epistemology, because our approach is foundationalism. It means you lay foundation and then you build upon it. Level 4, which is the highest level, and this is called al-aqlul mustafad, very high level. And that is when you understand everything according to the reality. So you have in yourself a world of knowledge similar to the external world. Actually, in Falsafiya Masha, they say Insan Kamil is this. Insan Kamil is the one who in his mind has understanding of the external world in an identical way. They say the aim of philosophy is Sayruratul Insan عالما عقلانيا مضاهيا للعالم العيني. The aim of philosophy is that a human being becomes in understanding and knowledge similar to the external world. We have a poem in Farsi which is very nice and it's used sometimes in this context, which says هر آن کس ز دانش برد توشه ای، هر آن کس ز دانش برد توشه ای، جهانی است بنشسته در گوشه ای. Everyone who takes a provision of knowledge is a world sitting in a corner. Ulama, each of them is one world. Okay? And the one who has comprehensive knowledge becomes similar to the external world. So تعقله رابعتها تعقله لجميع ما استفاد من المعقولات البديهية والنظرية المطابقة لحقائق العالم العلوي والسفلي. Understanding of aql for everything which has benefited, whether it be from معقولات بديهية or be نظرية, self-evident or speculative. المطابقة, and these معقولات should be corresponding to what? To حقائق العالم, to the realities of the world, whether عالم علوي or عالم سفلي. عالم علوي is the high world, like Malakut and Lahut, or عالم سفلي, which is Mulk. Yeah? Realities of this physical lower world or higher levels of the world. How Aql understands all this? باستحضاره الجميع والتفاته إليها بالفعل. Aql calls all these معلومات and pays attention to them actually. So you have all the world, the lower level, the high level, in your mind. فيكون, so Aql becomes عالما علميا مضاهيا للعالم العيني. Aql becomes a world of knowledge similar to the world of realities, external world. So we have a scientific world and we have a factual world. يسمى العقل المستفاد. This is called عقل مستفاد. Not everyone reaches this point, of course. Yes. Some scholars علم آدم الأسماء كلها. So, Hujjatullah. Chapter 6. This chapter is very important. And this is about who actually gives these mental or scientific images. Where do you get them? People who are not very well trained philosophically, they may think they themselves create their knowledge. But you cannot create knowledge. In the same way that you cannot create a child by yourself, the maximum you can do is to prepare the ground. Or for example, you cannot give shifa to yourself by taking medicine. You cannot give life to the flower by just planting. You are just illatum mu'addeh. Remember, we said we have illatum mufideh and illatum mu'addeh. Mu'addeh is the preparatory cause. Preparatory cause can disappear and still ma'lul continues. If this was granting existence to the effect to ma'lul, it must always remain aligned with ma'lul. But father dies, child is there. Gardener dies, flower is there. So these are not mufid, these are not granting existence. These are just mu'id, prepare. Okay? The same is with knowledge. When you study, when you listen, when you read, when you think, you are just preparing the ground. Ilm must be given from a higher place. In the same way that we say about true knowledge, we say ليس العلم بكثرة التعليم والتعلم بل العلم نور يقذفه الله في قلب من يشاء. Knowledge is not a matter of frequent learning and teaching. It's a matter of a light being projected by God to the heart of those people that He wants. Even our ordinary knowledge is like that.
What do you say to the point that all knowledge is based on theories that you have built in your mind?
So then we argue for that. For example, we say we have already proved in this section, chapter 1, chapter 2, we prove that ilm is mujarrad. Okay? Ilm is mujarrad. This immaterial knowledge that you didn't have, could you give it to yourself something that you lack? It must come from another place, because if you had it, then why you didn't know it? This knowledge should come from an immaterial being higher than us, which is granting this to the people who work for it, or sometimes like inspiration. Without you doing something, it comes. Okay? So in the discussion about inspiration, those who were there, remember we talked that sometimes ideas come, yes? It's not just you are reviewing what you already know. Sometimes new thing comes and you had no clue about it. It comes. So please look at the text. This is one of the very important chapters of this section. Al-Fasl al-Sadis في مفيض هذه الصور العلمية. Chapter 6 on the thing that grants, originates these scientific images, these scientific forms. أما الصور العقلية الكلية. Allah divides the discussion into two parts. First, he talks about صور عقلية كلية. Then at the end, he talks about صور جزئية. Those which are جزئية also come from top, but they come from عالم مثال. كلي comes from عالم عقول, but both of them come from top. أما الصور العقلية الكلية. Those intellectual images or forms which are kulli, which are universal. فَإِنَّ مُفِيضَهَا المخرج للإنسان مثلا من القوة إلى الفعل عقل مفارق للمادة. The one that gives this صور, originates this صور, which takes human being from potentiality to fi'l, to actuality, makes jahil alim, makes someone who is ignorant knowledgeable. The one who originates this is aqlun mufariqun lil madda, is an intellect which is immaterial. Please remember, by aql here we don't mean human aql. By aql we mean aql as one of the 5 types of jawhar. This aql is mujarradun zatan wa fi'lan, okay? Something which is higher than physical and material world. عنده جميع الصور العقلية الكلية. That aql which is higher than this realm has all knowledge, all scientific images which are universal are there. Those things which never change. Why? What is your argument? وذلك, because أنك قد عرفت أن هذه الصور بما إنها علم مجردة عن المادة. Because you have understood in this section before that these صور, these images, they are mujarrad, because knowledge has to be not changeable. Anything maddi changes. So these are mujarrad an al-madda. These are empty from matter. على أنها كلية تقبل الاشتراك بين كثير. Moreover, these suwar are universal and accept to be applied to more than one. Yes? Insan kulli can be applied to more than one. But in alam madda, you don't have anything kulli. فَالسُّورَةُ الْعَقْلِيَّةُ مُجَرَّدَةٌ عَنِ الْمَادَّةِ. So this intellectual image is free from matter. فَفَاعِلُهَا الْمُفِيدُ لَهَا. So its cause that originates it, amrun mujarradun anil madda. That must also be immaterial. Why? Because something maddi cannot create something ghayr maddi. Something which is material cannot create something which is immaterial. It can be the opposite. Something which is immaterial can create immaterial or can create material. But something which is material cannot create something which is immaterial. لأن الأمر المادي ضعيف الوجود. Something which is material is weak in existence. فلا يصدر عنه ما هو أقوى منه وجودا. So nothing which is stronger than it in existence can be issued from him. على أن فعل المادة. Another reason. Please remember this always, and we had this before. Any material cause, in order to do something, needs a special setting, condition. For example, fire. Fire cannot burn in every circumstances. You need particular, for example, certain distance with wood. And wood cannot be under the fire. Wood must be above the fire or near the fire. Certain distance, certain location. Then you need, oxygen. Many conditions are needed. There must be no barrier between them. For material causes, lots of conditions are to be there. لأن الأمر المادي. So Allama says, first, ضعيف الوجود. It's weak in existence. فلا يصدر عنه ما هو أقوى منه وجودا. So nothing which is greater than it in existence can be issued from it. Plus, على means moreover. أن فعل المادة مشروط بالوضع الخاص. فعل المادة, the action of something which is matter, is conditional upon certain condition. ولا وضع للمجرد, but مجرد has no وضع, has no special condition. You remember وضع and عين, مغولة الوضع مغولة عين. وضع is the condition which is caused, which is created by the situation of parts of something with the environment. It can be the same place, but for example, if it is upside down, the vase is changing. Or if it is going around, vase is changing, although location is not changing. In Maddiyat, we need certain kind of condition, certain vase. But in Mujarrad, there is no vase, because you cannot say, this Mujarrad should be near Maddi. Should be on top of Maddi. No, because Mujarrad has no location, no direction. You cannot point at it. If you say the same soul, which is understanding this Sowar, is creating, like my soul, your soul, we create this Sowar. He says no. ليس هذا المفيد المجرد هو النفس العاقلة لهذه الصور المجردة العلمية. The one that originates and is immaterial is not the soul which understands these intellectual immaterial images. Means our soul, human soul. Why? Because our soul is potential. Our soul is going to understand them, to learn them. So it means our soul is lacking them. How can an ignorant person create these images in himself? لأنها means النفس العاقلة بعد still بالقوة بالنسبة لها, with respect to this Sowar, is still potential. وحيثيتها حيثية القبول دون الفعل. Human soul receives, not grants, takes, not gives, this Sowar. ومن المحال أن يخرج ما بالقوة ومن المحال أن يخرج ما بالقوة نفسه من القوة إلى الفعل. Please pay attention to the way I am reading. من المحال أن يخرج ما بالقوة نفسه من القوة إلى الفعل. It's impossible that something which is potential to take itself out of potentiality into actuality. Something which is potential cannot make itself actual. Because when it is potential, means it lacks this form. Then how can it give this form to itself? Can you give light to yourself? You cannot give light to yourself. من لم يجعل الله له نورا فما له من نور. Can you give life to yourself? No. Can you give knowledge to yourself? No. فمفيز الصورة العقلية جوهر عقلي مفارق للمادة. So what originates these intellectual images is a substance which is aqli, which is intellectual, but not like human aql. When we say aqli, we mean that type of johar. We said johar is either aql or nafs or madde or surat or jism. And some people have added mithal. They said aql, mithal, jism, nafs, madde, surat. Okay, aql, mithal, nafs, jism, madde, surat. This Aql is that aql which is independent from us. It's above us. For example, Masha'un said there are 10 uqul. Yes? Uqul ashara. The lowest is aql fa'al, active intellect. This is that aql, not my aql or your aql. فمفيز الصورة العقلية جوهر عقلي مفارق للمادة. What grants the intellectual image is an intellectual substance which is separate from matter. فيه جميع الصور العقلية الكلية. In that aql, all intellectual images which are universal are there, but not in a separated, disconnected, detailed way, because it is not compound. It has all of them together in a holistic way. على نحو ما تقدم من العلم الإجمالي العقلي. Remember we said sometimes we have all the knowledge like a mujtahid. If you ask him 1,000,000 questions, he can answer. But it's not that all 1,000,000 questions are present in his mind at one point. تتحد معه. This is about how knowledge comes. The person who is going to understand means he's going to receive something. So a kind of unity has to take place. Your soul must be united, must be touched by that aql. Okay? Like, for example, waterfall, water is coming. You must make sure that you go under waterfall and get something. تتحد معه النفس المستعدة للتعقل. The soul which is prepared for understanding is united with that aql. How much is united? Depending on its isti'dad. How much it is prepared. That aql has no limit. But how much you are going to receive, it depends on your container. Like you have a pipe. How wide is that pipe for receiving water? على قدر استعدادها الخاص. Proportionate to its استعداد, its preparation, its capacity. فيفيض عليها ما تستعد له من الصور العقلية. That عقل مجرد, which is higher, grants according to the istidad, according to preparation and capacity of this soul, intellectual images. وهو المطلوب. For example, you see a poet in few minutes makes tens of couplets. Or you see, for example, about imams, that Imam alayhi salam, for example, sits next to the Jabal of Arafat and reads Dua ya Arafat. Not that he's reading, he is actually composing. Sometimes you read from Mafati, for example, or text, or you memorize it. But he just makes dua and this comes. Where does it come? From above. It cannot come from here because it was not here. وَبِنَظِيرِ الْبَيَانِ السَّابِقِ. Similar to this previous account, يَتَبَيَّنْ. It becomes clear. أن مفيد الصور العلمية الجزئية جوهر مثالي. What we said was about صور عقلية كلية. We said they come from عقل مجرد. But we have also صور جزئية, which are about particular things. These come from Jawhar Mithali. You remember we said Mithal, especially Mithal which is disconnected, which is Munfasil, is higher than this word. It has shape, size, but no matter. It doesn't occupy space. It doesn't have weight. But like a person that you see in dream. A person that you see in dream looks the same. Shape, size, color, gender is there. But it doesn't occupy space. It's lighter than physical person. أن مفيد الصور العلمية الجزئية, the one that grants scientific images which are particular, is جوهر مثالي مفارق. Yes, مثالي, but so it is similar to mujarrad because it doesn't have physical matter, but it's different from ughul because it has shape and size and this type of things.
It has a form already.
Pardon?
It has the surah without the matter.
Yes, it has a kind of surah but not matter. ففيه, in that جوهر المثالي, فيه جميع الصور المثالية الجزئية. All مثالي images which are particular are there. على نحو العلم الإجمالي. Of course, again in a holistic way. تتحد معه النفس على قدر ما لها من الاستعداد. Again, nafs is united with that, is connected to that, proportionate to its preparation. It's how prepared it is, how much capacity it has, gets from that. The next chapter is very simple. Maybe at least I mentioned just few lines which are very simple. ينقسم العلم الحصولي إلى تصور وتصديق. What you know already. We said ilm is either huzuri or husuli. Ilm husuli is either tasawwur or tasdeeq. Why we discuss it here? You may say this is very obvious. No, we discuss it here because we want to go into some analysis, to some details about this. Before we go to detail, just an introduction. We say, the reason we say ilm husuli is either tasawwur or tasdeeq, it's because either it is one or two or more concepts without any judgment, or there is a judgment, either in an affirmative way or in a negative way. For example, you say Qiyamu Zayd. There is no judgment. Qiyamu Zayd what? Qiyamu Zayd al-yawm. A standing of Zayd today. Okay. Still it's not tasdeeq. But if you say Zaydun qa'imun al-yawm, Zayd is standing today. This is judgment. It's nisbah. Or Zaydun laysa biqa'imin. Again there is judgment. Salbi. It's negative. So tasdeeq is when you have some concepts with a judgment. Hukm. There's a hukm here. There's a kind of verdict that you say either this is the case or this is not the case. Or it can be also insha, of course. لأنه إما صورة حاصلة من معلوم واحد أو كثير من غير إيجاب أو سلب ويسمى تصورا كتصور الإنسان والجسم والجوهر، وإما صورة حاصلة من معلوم معها إيجاب شيء لشيء أو سلب شيء عن شيء. Because ilm husuli is one of the two. Either this ilm is the image which is happening which is achieved from one piece, one concept, ma'luman wahid, one thing that you conceive, or more, but without ijab or salb, without affirming or negating. This is called tasawwur. You conceive insan, jism, jawhar, human being. Jism is like physical object, and jawhar substance. But sometimes it is suratun hasilatun min ma'lumin ma'aha ijabu shay'in li shay'in or salbu shay'in min shay'in. Sometimes this image is formed from something which is known, along with affirming something for something or negating something from something. Like we say, al-insanu dhahikun. It's not just insan, it's not just zahk or dhahik. No, al-insanu dhahikun. So you understand insan and dhahik, plus you say insan is zahik. Or laysa al-insanu bihajar. Human being is not a stone. You understand insan, you understand hajar, and then you negate. وَيُسَمَّى تَصْدِيقًا. This is called tasdeeq, affirmation. وَبِاعْتِبَارِ حُكْمِهِ. And if you want to call it, because it has hukm, it has a kind of judgment, you call it qadiyya. ثم إن القضية بما تشتمل على إثبات شيء لشيء أو نفي شيء عن شيء مركبة من أجزاء فوق الواحد. Preposition cannot have only one part. At least you need two things. For example, you say Zaydun qa'imun or Zaydun laysa biqa'im. Suppose you don't talk about time, you don't talk about place, you don't talk about how many, okay? You don't talk about condition. Because sometimes you mention all this. Zaydun qa'imun al-yawm fil madrasa fi hadhihi al-hala. But the minimum is that you need subject and predicate. At least you need two things. Yeah? And then a nisba between these two, a relation between these two. Zayd, qa'im, then what is the relation between these two? Either you say Zaydun qa'imun or Zaydun laysa biqa'imun, or you have doubt and you don't make any judgment. So he says the proposition, because involves affirming something for something or negating something from something, is compound of parts more than one, means at least two or more, subject, predicate, at least. It can be few other things like time, space, condition. Then he goes further to explain an analysis of tasdeeq. I think we leave this inshallah for another session. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.